Hi everyone, it's Master Ben and welcome back to another Star Citizen video. Now today I'm going to show you how to repair absolutely everything on the Polaris in 4.5 and onwards. Now the Polaris has a few very funny nuances to it which I'm going to run you through in this video. Overall it's actually a really fun ship to do engineering on, and it's definitely one you can do with 2 people, maybe 3 people, but as you'll see the components are quite easy to get up and running. So without further ado, let's get into it. Now, just like I did with the Idris, the first place I want to start is with the engineering terminal, which can be found in the engineering room behind the hangar. The first thing we're always going to deal with is fuses. As we can see here, we have red dots in our power source panel. This means that relays are down and we need to repair them. Now, a relay is basically anywhere a fuse can be, so we need to go around the ship and repair these. And here's a little fun fact for you. If you're on a ship you've never been on before and don't know where to look, if you go ahead and open up your Moby glass and look for any red dots, this will highlight missing fuses and you can navigate to them much easier. The good news is there's loads right next to us. So in the engineering room, there is a total of 6 fuses in 2 boxes. Now, when dealing with these boxes, we always want to load them from the right-hand side first so that this red dot goes away. If you put a fuse in any spot, the red dot will go away, but always put it in the right, as I found this to be most reliable when looking through the engineering terminals for it recognizing there's a fuse in there. So there's 2 of those boxes in the engineering room, and then as we take the lift down into the engine room, there's another 2 boxes, both of which require 3 fuses. Now the good news here is the additional 2 fuses seem to act as a form of redundancy, and you only really need 1 fuse on each of these to keep the ship running. The Polaris and all ships come fully fused as they start, but as they get shot down, you will need to go and replace them. There may also be some wear and tear, but TBC on that. Replacing fuses is really easy. Just make sure you have loads of them on you. You can buy them or craft them with something like a vulture or a crafting machine in due course. Chuck them in and you're good to go. If you head through the hangar and to the torpedo loading bay, there's also an additional fuse box where you can put an additional 2 fuses. So in total, downstairs there are 5 fuse boxes, and then on your way to the bridge there is a further box which takes 3 fuses. So this should give you an idea of where most of the fuses are on the ship, and now we're able to put power everywhere. The engineering panel is a really interesting thing. There's so many options you can do here. For example, you can see who's repairing what piece of equipment and what needs to be repaired. So definitely have a good look through it. So let's deal with all the modules you can find in the engineering room. If you head to the very back of the room, you will find the quantum drive. It's a sizable quantum drive. There's a little button you may need to press to open up the wall. And as we can see, it's actually fairly quick to repair even with 1 person. If you haven't watched my Idris video, definitely go watch that. And you can see how much slower the materials are on that ship compared to this ship. So the Polaris is definitely soloable in this case. Even with a few seconds, we're getting this drive easily up to about 30% is when we start to lose most of the degradation, and we'll be good to go. If you continue around right in the room from the quantum drive, you will get to the radar. I know it shows as unknown here, but if you use the engineering terminal, it will show up as the radar. It's very good to keep this up if you want your commander to be happy and actually able to see targets. And if we moved from the left-hand side of the quantum drive, you can get to the life support. Now, the life support is absolutely critical on most ships, but very, very critical in this ship for a reason I'm going to show you right now. So, to repair the power plant on the Polaris, you can head down the ladders at the back of the engine room, tick the button here, and see a really fancy animation as the power plant comes up. The problem with the power plant is this wall gets in the way, and have a look in the left-hand corner. You can see the temperature in the room has suddenly spiked to 76 degrees. The life support will hold it at 77 degrees, but what you can't see right now is the life support on this ship is being absolutely drained, even though it is fully powered. So at the top of the screen, you can see our life support is down to 2%, and the room is sitting at 126 degrees here. There's 2 parts in this room. There's the power plant, which is always at 126 degrees. Then there's the actual room temperature itself, which is currently holding at 77 degrees. Now, if we go ahead and turn off the life support for this room, you will see that the temperature is going to fly through the roof. Now, the reason this is because in order to repair the power plant the correct way, you have to raise the cooling rods or raise the power rods out of their coolant water, which is heavily radioactive, by the way, so do not jump into that. So by lifting up these power rods, you are now transferring 126 degrees of heat directly into your room. And to show you what I'm doing here, if I go back and lower down these rods into the room and head to the engineering terminal, we can see that the room is now gradually going back down in temperature. As a reminder, the power plant will always be sitting at 126 degrees. The only change here is where the energy is being transferred to. So if we left this room long enough, naturally it would go back down to ambient temperature. But if we go ahead and turn on the life support systems, we can see that the room will begin to plummet in temperature back down to the correct area. Now, obviously by itself, this doesn't really matter, but if your ship is under attack and you're already heating up due to other malfunctions, this is a perfect way to give yourself a fire which could have easily been avoided. Now, here's the better way to deal with these controlling rods. While they're still lowered in the water, so you're not transferring any heat to the room, you can simply repair the power plant through shooting through the rails. You can thank me later for this one, and I guarantee it will save your life at some point. So moving backwards, we have the cooler. This is once again a bespoke sizeful cooler, and this is with two people working on it, although one of them seems a little bit lazy, but you can see it's fairly okay to repair it. It's not as quick as the Quantum Drive, but it's not too bad either. It's substantially better than the Idris. And as we have here, we have three people working on the cooler, and it's a fairly manageable pace. If you took some people off the turrets to get the coolers going, you'd be absolutely fine. And it's paramount you keep the coolers running. At the front of the engine room, we have the shield generator. It's this lovely looking dish where all the circles inside squiggle around when it's running at full capacity. Keep your shield generator up, people. That's how you don't die, especially with the ion being in the game. So let's move into the hangar, and we have the tractor beam. Oh boy, we need to keep this running. Simple as it looks. Look at it, press right click, tractor beam will come back online. Now here's a handy little life hack for you. If you have run out of salvage materials in the room, you can run up to your hangar doors and salvage them and basically have no impact on your ship. So this is always a really good way to do this. You can't salvage in your own personal hangar, but as soon as you're in the verse, you can absolutely salvage the door. You can also do this open and closed, which is really nice and means there is no excuse for running out of salvage material. And as a side note, you can also repair the doors normally. Just run up to them, press right click, and you are good to go. Now, you can also repair the docking collars on the ship and a few doors. You can't repair any of the doors moving to the hangar or to the bridge, but you can repair the docking collar doors, the panels that move outside the ship for the docking collar, and any doors that are immediately after the docking collar. Points there for anyone who counts how many times I said docking collar there and lets me know down below. So here we go. Docking collar doors can be repaired. Joy, oh joy, there is no excuse for not being able to dock. Quite frankly, I don't know why you would do this. I mean, maybe it will stop people boarding, but a pulverizer will still get through. And the main hangar door can also be repaired. Now, a bit of an interesting one here, as with the Idris, sometimes after these doors are repaired, they don't work on the manual controls anymore. That can be found in the hangar room. But if you go to your engineering panel, go onto the door mode, and click open and close doors a few times, this seems to get the doors working again. So let's talk about turrets. Now, turrets are quite easy to repair on the ship. All you have to do is run up to any of the man turrets and right click on the seat, not the panels. This will work for any of them. It should repair the turret immediately, but it will not replace the guns. To replace the guns, you'd have to repair the ship at a station. If the gun is merely damaged and therefore inoperable, you can run up to it, hold right click, and get it back in the game. As I showed in the Idris video, if you get the guns even to 1%, they are fully operational again. And I haven't found a disadvantage yet, but let me know if I'm missing something there. And the size 6 guns on the front can also be repaired. Obviously, this is a bit more of a faff, and just to highlight, you can always go back to a station and repair normally. This is not replacing the normal repair ways. So all the turrets can be repaired. Now, what I've noticed on a few of them is the turret and the turret ring are treated as two separate things, so it's quite important to make sure you check both. So as we can see here, we have the missile rack itself and the turret which the missile rack sits on. So when you go to these, make sure both are repaired. Now, the annoying thing is with the hidden interior man turrets. In order to repair these, you need someone to get into the turret, which will then make the turrets drive out of their hole, and then you can repair them absolutely normally. Now, PDCs can also be repaired, and once again, these are in two separate parts. There is the body of the PDC and the gun, as I'm showing you here. Absolutely make sure the gun is also repaired, otherwise all you've done is make a PDC that doesn't actually shoot anything. Given the PDC nerf at the moment, that wouldn't impact anyone too much, but still, always make sure you repair the gun and the module itself. Another important thing to do is check your torpedoes' integrity if you've been attacked. If they go to 0, they will not explode, but when you launch them, they will easily be shot down by PDC fire if you have not repaired them up to 100%. And thrusters can also be repaired, which is really nice. If your Polaris bits haven't been shot off yet, you can get your thrusters back into the game and hopefully get rid of any of those issues, along with all of your maneuvering thrusters. So if you have a major torque imbalance, it's typically because a maneuvering thruster has been damaged. A quick run around with this and you will get them back into the game. It's funny how I look at maneuvering thrusters and just totally ignore them typically, but getting rid of major torque imbalances would be really, really nice. So this is definitely one to do. And with that being said, folks, that's all I have for you today. If you've enjoyed it, please do consider subscribing and leaving a comment. It really does help and boost my self-esteem massively when I see that number tick up, so why not give it a go? It's free, I've heard. And if you haven't yet checked out the first video in this series where I show you around the Idris, definitely do give that one a look. This ship feels much more refined than the Idris right now, but I suppose we're waiting on the new model for that ship. And I'll see you in the next one.